Thanks for tuning in. This is Anthony from West Coast Custom Concrete, the best in the West. Today we're filling in another beautiful sunken living room. Whoever the architect was that designed these, I have no idea. These are super basic. I just brought my trailer just to bring the rebar and stuff, because if you can get 20 footers at a time, it's a lot cheaper than just buying 10 footers. So it's just Javier and I. We used to do them in one day, but people kind of thought it was too easy, So we set it up one day. We're here a couple hours max. Go eat lunch, come back, finish it, and then pour it the next day. I already got the concrete set up. So we're going to put expansion foam around the perimeter so the concrete doesn't seep into the wall and it doesn't cause any mildew or nothing. I was using plastic, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to cut the plastic and put it around the perimeter and get a really straight edge, like where we snap the line type edge. So I just got like that plumbing pipe that you put, plumbing foam that you put over the pipes, that real thin stuff, that white stuff. I just bought a roll of that, and we doubled it up, you'll see, and we put it around the perimeter. I did the house across the street from this one, and he referred me to the lady here, and I did hers. So this is a cool job. I was thankful for it. I've been beaching it every day, all day. The weather now is just, this place is amazing. One of the most desirable places in the world, right where I live. So I don't know where they have these, what states, but I know they have them in California. They were real hip in the 70s. I'm pretty sure Arizona, I've seen a couple there. But if you guys come across these are pretty basic. The protocol is put a moisture barrier, dowel into the existing footing or concrete that's there, 24 on center, number 3, and you're good to go. And that's about it. And I use a 3000 straight cement, but use a 2% polar set. CC doesn't work indoors, and CC will eat the rebar. A lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people think rebar helps with cracking, and it has nothing to do with whether the concrete's going to crack or not. This concrete will never crack, not only because West Coast did it, but they're putting a wood floor on it, so you won't be able to see it, but it won't crack anyway, because I put expansion foam all the way around. So when it shrinks, and concrete is a weird phenomenon, when it starts to cure, the water rises to the top, and then it bleeds through, and then it shrinks and it expands. So if you have foam up, it can expand on it and expand back. You won't get any of those shrinkage cracks, because if it shrinks too quick, dries too quick, it'll start shrinking. We're just putting dowels in. I mean, I'm not sure what the code is, or if there is one to fill one of these floors in, but this is what I do basically. Just put down a moisture barrier just because in the dowels and go all the way. There's nothing to it really, except when you're going to finish it, you better put a 2% polar set. Works really good indoors, and the only reason it works better, the way you have to use it, what I'm trying to say is you have to cook it in the barrel. Like the guy who batches it has to batch it as dry as possible, spin the drum and get heat and friction in the drum and start cooking it so it starts getting hot. So you want it super hot. When it shows up is fine, because it'll dry the bleed water up. Otherwise it's just sitting on the top, because it's not going to bleed down into the concrete below. Where's it going to go? It's just going to sit there till you're going to have to bull float it towards you and get it off with either a shop vac or a shovel and a bucket. Even if you do it right, sometimes I've taken a bucket or two of sludge off the top, even with the 2% in it. So it just depends. So it's just Javier and I today. Pretty basic, easy setup. I mean, you're not going to get any easier. And they're putting a wood floor, so you just got to adjust for that and drop it down a hair, whatever the thickness of the wood was. So they're going to tear all the tile out in this whole house and the whole bottom floor. So I'm just putting expansion foam around the fireplace and on the wall, because she wanted a moisture barrier on it. I've done it both ways. I've never had a problem either way, but this is probably a better rule of thumb, is to put the foam up. See, that's like that really thin plumbing stuff, but it's got a straight edge that I can get right on the string line, which makes it nice. Cutting that plastic, it was a pain. I didn't have enough anyway, so thank God. So we just went and got that. There's a setup there. We had one extra piece, so we just, throw it down the middle. I don't usually store stuff, wood and lumber. It seems like it's always in my way. Here's the pump day, so it's a piece of cake day for him and I. It's Javier and another finisher. I've never seen the guy, but he said he's seen me on YouTube, and I've worked with a bunch of people he knows. It's all connected out here. Everyone knows everybody. They pretty much know what's what. Each guy, oh, I know him, I know him. So if you do crappy work or you show up drunk or steal shit, the word will go around and you'll get cut off. It's happened to a couple guys I know, where the guys in the groups warn me about him and say, "Hey, don't let these guys out. This guy's stealing or whatever." And they always try and milk it, make a setup, a 1-day setup, a 2-day setup. It's nauseating to deal with. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get it done and cut your losses and move on, you know. But this pump job, for a pump job, this is like 75 feet of hose. You know, there's no access in the front door. You're not going to use a wheelbarrow or any of that stuff. So this is the way to go. Everything in California is pumped. It's all done really easily. We're way ahead of the concrete when we pour it. We're waiting on it usually, because the key is to place it as fast as you can and get it all tucked up and the ends, you know, get the thing bowl floated, get it magged on the edges, on everything, ready to go, ready to skate it, mark all the joints prior to pouring it. We just use a crayon and mark them all. Not on this, there's no joints going on this. I'm just saying in general, like on a driveway or a patio. So the work's starting to pick up here. I'm having the time of my life. The beach is so unbelievable right now. I got to go back to work though. I got a backyard, front yard, and a couple garage floors to do. So I'll have some really cool videos. I'm probably going to use a different style, probably, and have a microphone on me. That's what the media girl wants me to do. It'll be friggin' hilarious. You'll hear me talking to the crew, talking to the truck drivers, talking to the homeowners. I might start doing it when I bid it. You guys can hear how I bid it and what numbers and how I come up with it. That's Matt. That's Johnson's buddy. But it's been pretty slow out here. Generally, if you're in construction or concrete, a good way to tell whether you're going to be busy 100% is just focus on the interest rate of the houses, and you'll know. If it's a high interest rate, it's going to be a slower, sluggish market. If the interest rates start going down, you'll get more busier. So you got to strike when it's hot. Right now, I already know it's tight, and people are saying, "Oh, I didn't know it'd be that much," or "I got this bid." And generally, I'm the only guy who bids the jobs I go on, because they know what they're getting. But lately, a couple here and there. It's no big deal. It's just the nature of the game. So I don't want to put it all the way up to the concrete, existing concrete, because they're going to put a wood floor. So I'm just keeping this thing down so I don't splash. They're obviously going to paint the room. The fireplace came way out before, and she had it all redone and pushed back. It looks really nice the way she had it done. It was kind of funky before, and it had like a landing in front of it. You know, these guys have seen them with the mantle. That looks a lot better, more state of the art. And they're going to put wood floors in, like really nice wood floors. The whole house was that tile you can see right there. It's kind of probably the 80s, maybe 90s. But this is pretty basic. This is about what you get. I mean, if you guys can bid these and get these are, you want to risk, low risk and high reward. These kind of jobs are that. Exactly. Plus, I'm looking to get a little bit bigger, not too much, because I live my life with no overhead. Like, I can go to the beach for 2 months, go wherever I want, Mexico, whatever I want to do. But I love buying equipment. I love different equipment. So I'm looking for another S70, maybe a pump, another pump. I don't know yet. I just like machinery for some reason, especially turbo diesel stuff. That's a 545 I'm pumping with. I just turned it way down. Usually I'm just going wide open, like pumping fast and going, come on, keep up. But I just got to time it and slow down and take my time, and I'm a lot better. But you get irritated when you pump all the time, you know, for as many years as I have. So I turned it down, and it was perfect. There was two finishers, Javier and this guy. I don't remember his name. Sorry, brother. But if you can find these are cake. If you're starting out a business, now's a good time to jump in before the interest rates go down and it gets super busy. You know, and don't buy equipment with payments. Don't have any payments. Whatever you do. I could be massive. I could have a Platinum. I could have 5 pumps and all these Bobcats and trucks. And what you're doing is you're creating jobs for people. You don't even know how much you're actually making. You don't actually know what each guy's making you or costing you, or you're breaking even. When you slow down, you can tell. You'll know where all the money's going and all the insurances you're paying and registrations and tires and maintaining your equipment. You'll know where it goes. But then it's too late. Then you're going under. That's just from my own personal experience. I don't think bigger is better. In different era, in the 70s, 80s, is probably, it's all to do with timing. Like buying a house. Like you talk to people, how much did you buy this house for? $250,000. You're like, this thing's worth $1 million now. It's just timing. What age you are, when you grew up, when you started your business. You know, did you start in '08 in a full recession? You can't really gauge your success on some of that. You know, a lot of it you weren't going to succeed anyway because the market was completely against you, and you got to realize that. And I figured that out real quick when it happened to me. So I don't want any equipment payments or anything like that. If it slows down, I just hit the beach, you know, or go traveling around. It's fine. I took my boots off because I had concrete on the bottom, and I didn't want to get it on their tile. Even though they're demoing it, we would still have to clean it off. These guys love when I wear sandals or go barefooted. Put on my Crocs for you. I'm losing the Crocs. Don't worry, I'm getting another pair of slip-ons. But finding jobs like this, or when they come in, you can price it, and there's a little leeway. If they think it's a little bit, you can go down because it's just labor, a little bit of labor cost, not much, and the cost of the concrete, and that's about it. The rebar is like, you know, maybe 18, 20 footers probably for this job. I don't remember the dimensions on it, but it's probably 18 bars we bought. Javier and I went and got them that morning, and I lost my keys in Home Depot. I set them on a shelf. It was crazy. I had to look for them for an hour. He couldn't believe it. So this is a waiting game. And another thing you can do, no one's home at this house. You can close it all up and cook it with the heater on put it at like 85, 90 for about an hour. And you'll get rid of the bleed water that way also. Because there's nowhere for it to go. Concrete's the chemical reaction to concrete, sand, and cement and rock it's amazing. It defies gravity logic because the water rises to the top, it sits on the top, and then it starts bleeding down through. It's very interesting components to it, the way it works. And Roman concrete lasted a lot longer, and people say, oh, look at the Romans, they had no rebar and it's not cracked. Well, they use volcanic ash, not fly ash, and they use seawater, not regular water. And volcanic ash gets stronger over time. The PSI keeps going up over hundreds of years. It gets stronger and stronger. Fly ash doesn't. At a certain amount of shelf life, it starts going the opposite way. And cracking, eroding, becoming brittle. You know, and then there's a lot of factors. What soil is it on? Clay? Are you in a freeze-thaw area? There's so many factors to it. But if they use volcanic ash, it'd be a different ballgame. And I'm on the ocean. I'd like to use some seawater. I've never seen it. I've never done it that way. I'd like to try it out and see how it works. So my day's done. I just got to pick up the hose and chill out till these guys are done and film it and then pay everybody and I'm out. That's an Olin. That's a 45 yard an hour pump. It's got a 2-foot stroke on it. It's just a shotcrete pump. It's a badass pump. I mean, you guys know that's basically what I am, is a concrete pumper for 20 years or something like that. I know pumps inside and out. And when it slows down, it's a good time to buy one. I've seen the equipment has gone down in price so much. S70s, I saw one pretty fair price. The pumps are going down. See, there it is right there after we poured it. There's not much bleed water because he cooked that Polar set with the concrete and spun the drum on the way there. And we're probably 5 minutes from the plant. So it's better if you're a little farther away, like 40 minutes, and it's in the drum, spinning and stuff, and you have them loaded as dry as they can. A 4 or 4.5 is fine. A 4 is optimal. And then add water to it when they get there if you want to. And the Polar set will evaporate it. Don't use CC indoors. Doesn't work worth a crap. That's why Polar set's more. CC is really cheap. But it doesn't really work. Unless you're outside and there's light on it. Then it'll pop. But like a footing or something, you're going to first course it. Something like that. But stuff like this inside, it won't even work. Neither will this Polar set if they put too much water at the plant. This stuff won't work either. Just so you know. And wherever you're at, I would get Bobcat breakers. A dump trailer will work. And if you have a bigger job, just sub a 10-wheeler out, you know. Break it, stockpile, load them up. Go get your material, your forms, and your rebar and throw it down right behind them. I mean, there's a crap load of money to making this. I I'm just killing it in this, what I do. There's the finished product there. I mean, they probably got to... See, there's some sludge right there we're taking off of it. Where we had to pull it over there. Because I'm like, damn, dude, we're going to be here too late. That my boy D showed up? Yeah, he did. I forgot. He's with Complete Concrete. He's a contractor. Javier's a contractor. All three of us are. I don't remember my boy showing up. Shout out to Complete Concrete. And Javier's going to have could be covering San Diego area. He'll have a San Diego number. When he makes his move and he's in San Diego, I'll give all his information for San Diego. We're just cleaning it up just because we don't want to look sloppy. But they're going to retile it. And they're going to repaint this room, obviously. But you still want to be clean, like, you know, nobody was here type of thing. And there's a funny trowel. You can hit that and seal it up once the water gets off the top. That's a steel trowel, so you can seal it up, lock the water in. It is what it is. And you can either turn the heat on or just chill out and take off and go eat lunch and come back and probably still wait a little longer. And I haven't skated 2 or 3 times because I want it really flat. Even if they're putting a floating wood floor, tile, whatever, I want it done really perfect. I don't know if you guys remember that mansion on the water on Monarch Bay and Laguna Beach when I raised it 1 inch. There was only about 180 square feet that they had to grind down a little bit. It was 1 inch the whole floor, and I think it was like 5,000 square feet. I don't remember how long ago the video was, but we used a 1x2 and laid it sideways and used that as a guide as we kept moving, so it worked good. So whoever comes in behind me, I want them to say, whoever did the slab did it perfect. Whether it's the tile guy or the wood guy or whoever. You always want to do a good job. And if you're honest and you're hardworking, what's done in the dark will be seen in the light. There's no such thing as darkness. It's just an absence of light. So always be honest. Even if you can charge more or, you know, I'm just always honest no matter what the situation is. However it works out, that's the way it is. You know, so if you're honest and you work hard, you'll be successful. You'll be as big or small as you want to be. Depends what you desire to do. I like a lot of time off with my 2 girls and my family, and, you know, I do really good financially what I do. And that's good enough for me. But I've always been honest, and I've always been hardworking. And that's the key. Whatever the Lord gives you, it's a blessing. Don't ever complain. I've been on some jacked up jobs, bro, and I just sucked it up. That's how Javier does it too. It is what it is. Let's get down. And I'm like, we're screwed. He's like, well, let's get down. Milton too. That's how my guys are. Really like these guys as people too. I'm really close with Javier. Thank you guys very much for watching The Best in the West. I appreciate you tuning in. If you found any value or anything out of it, feel free to subscribe. And check out Sydney Ray 05 on Instagram. Thank you very much.